Welcome to Shrad's Talks Books. I'm Shrad. I'm a bookworm. I read, review, share, and give unsolicited book recommendations to all my friends who may or may not be readers. I genuinely believe that the books are dangerous and they should come with a warning label that says, "This might change your world." This podcast is my way of taking those unsolicited book recommendations to a new level. I will talk about books that I read, things that are about books, book world, authors, new and old favorites, once a week. My views and opinions might not always resonate with the popular ones. Please join me in enjoying the return word. Hope we change the lives together.
God's Degrees by Scott Adams. One way to look at today's featured book is to try and visualize a green sun. Why do I say that? Two reasons. One, it's a return by Scott Adams. Now think about what you know of Mr. Adams. He's best known for writing Dilbert. Now those of you who have no idea who or what Dilbert is, it's a comic strip about white-collar office with an engineer called Dilbert. It's famous for being satirical, cynical at times about Dilbert, and he's moron of a boss and hostile and unproductive co-workers and the usual rigmarole that most office workers have to endure. Anyone who has ever worked in an office can easily resonate with Dilbert. I mean, we've all had that one boss who we wanted to kill with sarcasm, don't we? Dilbert does it. So when someone says that it's a book by Scott Adams, you're likely to think it's going to be a fun book. Nothing can be farther from the truth. Secondly, the book that we're talking about, God's Degrees, it's not a book in a traditional sense of the word. Like, it doesn't have a beginning, a middle, and an end. Even the author himself calls it a thought experiment. And at times, that book makes you feel a little loopy. And that's intentional from the author. It certainly turns out more than you bargained for from a 130-page booklet. In terms of the story, it's a very simple premise. There's a delivery guy and there's an old man. Now, multiple times that this delivery guy meets the old man, they have a conversation. And slowly and steadily, you start realizing that this old man knows everything. I mean, actually, everything. They talk about a vast variety of topics, like quantum physics and gravity and psychic phenomena, probability, and even God. The old man makes every conversation simple and novel and compelling. He just makes everything easy to understand, and you start feeling like you yourself understand everything. While it is loopy at times, it makes your brain hurts at other times. It also makes you smile. And at the end of it all boils down to a simple thought. At the beginning of time, God existed as the primordial matter. He was an omnipotent being. And since he possibly knew everything, the only thing that he did not know was what would happen if he didn't exist. So he annihilated himself as the Big Bang and turned himself into smallest units of matter and probability, so-called God's debris. Now this primordial being is in the process of reassembling himself. And he does that through, continuing formation of collective intelligence in the form of human race. That way, everything anyone ever does or achieves or thinks in terms of science or progress or advancement, you simply chart it out as God reassembling himself. Or maybe it's just a simple example of human mind's capacity to create delusions. Scott Adams found his inspiration in two different theologies or philosophies for this book. One of which is called pandeism. It's a concept that believes that the God created universe by being the universe, while other influence comes from George Philippe Lakoff, who claims that the human mind is an illusion generator rather than a window of understanding. Both these thoughts have their own merit, and you need to read God's debris to see if you either agree to the thought or maybe you find what's wrong with the simplest explanations in the book. After all, it might just be a combination of scientific theories and creative baloney designed to sound like one.
Hey, you stuck till the end. Congratulations. How does it feel to have endured my rants and rambling? Sounds great, doesn't it? I assume since you reached the end, there must have been something that you liked, and I would love to know what worked. If something didn't work, please let me know instead of leaving rude or nasty comments. If I agree with it, I will try to change it. But since I'm a little stubborn, change won't be easy or fast, so have patience. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you in advance for all the wonderful comments you're about to make. And more than that, thank you for sharing this delightful little gem of a podcast with all your friends and family. Have a great time ahead and see you soon.